Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Yellow Studio Live. I'm Blume Bauer. I teach artists how to grow their businesses with print on demand and AI. I am excited, can you believe it, tonight to talk about organization and file organization and digital cataloging of our files and our images and our ads and our everything. I've had a couple of people ask for this over time. And so I thought tonight would be a great night to do that. If you're here, say hello in the chat and get your questions ready that you might have. Like, I'd love to know what your frustrations are with file organization, what you have a hard time doing. I find that organizing my files right when I make them is the best case scenario. But of course, sometimes we work on a project and we get pulled away to another one, and now our files are a little bit jumbled. And so I also like to have a weekly practice where I go in and organize as well. Hi, Jill. Hi, Beth. Welcome, welcome. Excuse me. Jill says, being organized is the issue, period. Yes, it is difficult, but I feel like once you get a system in place, it can be a lot easier. And I've had a few people ask to see inside of my organization, and hopefully this will help you. I am going to, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. I was hoping that water would work, but it didn't. It did not. Okay. Thanks, Jill. Okay, we're going to have 1,000 me's. I wonder if I move this off screen. Tell me, do the 1,000 me's when I do that? I'm curious. Jill says, ribbit. Can you guys still see me into infinity, or do you now just see the chat on the left and my folders on the right? If I pull it back out, I feel like it'll go back to, oh yes, that's my dream Bloomulence. My Bloomulence is white, but this is my manifesting Bloomulence, my next one. I'm going to find it. I needed to have, the thing I've been trying to find now is that it's really hard to find one with the right kind of chassis at the bottom. A lot of the Sprinter vans have this really long, flat chassis, and it's low to the ground. And we live on a windy gravel road. It's 3.5 miles of windy gravel road, and some of it's, it's mountainous, so it's up and down. And I need a chassis that moves with the road, not just sits flat and it acts like a big tank on the road. So yeah. Oh, you did close. You got it close, Jill, with the Bloomulence. Okay, so I wanted to start here with this folder that I created. I used to download everything to my desktop, and then my desktop was this insane mess, and I couldn't see the images, the beautiful image that I had on my desktop. Like right now I have this van. Sometimes I have my some of my art on there, or a vacation we went on recently, a photo from a vacation or whatever. And I could never see it. My desktop was always covered in files. And if I was really good, once every 6 months or a year, I would go and try to clean up the desktop, because then they started overlapping. Have you ever gotten to that place where your files are overlapping on the desktop because there are so many on the screen, and now they're starting to pile on top of each other? That's a bad place to be, because now you really can't get to your files because they're piled on top of each other. So the first thing that helps with that is having an external drive. And they're pretty inexpensive. You can get one for, I think, as cheap as like $20 or $40 at this point. And then all the way up to, $500-$600, depending on how much space you need. I think they are. Yes, and it does slow your computer down, Jill says. Yes. And hers have overlapped. Yeah, it's a bad place to be. It just feels so icky, and you're like, I can't see what these images are piled on top of these other images, and it's just such a mess. And I feel like it starts to make our brains kind of chaotic too. So it's just this whole full circle awfulness. So getting your external drive is a great way to get those files off your hard drive and leaving your hard drive room to run applications like Affinity, like we used last night, or Photoshop, or Illustrator, or InDesign, or Premiere Pro, or any of those softwares that run on your computer, not in the browser. It also helps just kind of everything on your computer run more quickly because you don't have all those files bogging it down. It's also a great backup. If your hard drive fails for some reason, you have your backup still. And oftentimes a backup drive is more easily retrieved than a hard drive. So with that, I also give the caveat that it's a great idea to have a second backup that is a cloud source. And I love to use SmugMug. I think SmugMug is fabulous for it. It only does PNGs, JPEGs, GIFs. Oh, and they do have an option for Photoshop files now too. Yes, back up your backup for sure. They do have an option for Photoshop files now too. They just launched that recently. So it's a great place to store all of your imagery. And with AI and with art, taking photos of our traditional art plus also making AI art, between those two things, you might start to have a lot of imagery, right? And then I use Google Drive for my other files that don't go on SmugMug. The reason I use SmugMug is that it's very inexpensive and it's unlimited storage, which is pretty much unheard of. So it's kind of nice to know that you can upload as much as you need to and never have to worry if you're going to have to pay more or, have to upgrade your account. I really like that. And then Google Drive is a great place for all the rest of your files, your PDFs, your Illustrator files, your Word documents, your text files, all of those things, because Google Drive is so inexpensive as well for their backup storage. It's not unlimited though, like SmugMug. So that's why it's nice to kind of have that combination where you're storing all your imagery and your videos. Oh my gosh, videos are huge. Just today I was uploading some videos to a file and one of the videos was 700 megs. That's a lot of storage, right? And you don't want that clogging up your computer. So with all that said, these folders are to my external drive. I have a Lacie, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, capital L, small a, capital C, I-E, Lacie. I call it Lacie. Lacie. It kind of looks French. I have that drive because that's the one that Apple recommends, and I have an Apple computer. So I wanted to have the one that they recommended. Sorry about that. I just touched the mic and I just realized that was probably noisy. It was blocking my light a little bit and I was like, what is that doing over there? Anyway, it's the one they recommend. So that's what I bought. I have an 8 terabyte Lacie, and I think it has about 3 terabytes on it. So I have quite a bit of room on it. I went from a 2 terabyte external drive and that one got full. And so I had to get something new. And when I went to get something new, I thought, let's not just jump up to the next level. Let's get one that will last me a good long time. So if you right click on your external drive on your desktop, you can click Get Info and it will show you how much space you've used on your drive and how much is left. So I have 8 terabytes total, and I have 5.58 terabytes left, which means I've used 2.42 terabytes. So not even 3 yet. That's great. Which is crazy because I have a lot of video and images. So it's a lot of storage. A terabyte is a lot of storage. Jill says she calls it lacy too. Good. Me too. Beth says, so right now I store everything on iCloud in addition to these other options. Yes, that's what I would recommend. If you use iCloud, that's great. That's a great cloud storage. It seems to be really reliable. I mean, you know, cloud storage can fail just like an external drive can fail, but it's less likely because they've got so much invested in it and so many customers, and so they want to make sure it stays up and running and happy. But you know, any system can fail, of course. So that's why it's great to have it in 2 places. So if you have your files on iCloud and then you're also storing them on your computer, get them on an external drive that connects to your computer. They even have little like portable ones. Beth, that would be great for you since you travel a lot. Like they have ones that are about this big, maybe like 4 by 6 inches, and they're flat. And then you can bring that everywhere you go, like a little external hard drive. Yeah, but getting all those files off your computer is really, really good, especially when you're using image software and video software. So the first thing I used to do was have them all over the desktop, right? All the files all over the desktop. Then I got the external drive, and I still kept the files all over the desktop. But then once every, so many months, I would go through and put them all away in folders. Then I had the bright idea, let's stop storing stuff on the desktop and start storing it on the external drive automatically. So now I have all my downloads. You can do that in your settings of your browser. You can decide where all your downloads go. I have it set to all go to my Lacy drive, to a folder called New Downloads from the Internet. You can call it whatever you want, but that's just what I decided that day when I first did this, and that's what it's been ever since. So when I download anything, it's going to go into this folder. And you can see yesterday, I was working on a bunch of stuff. I actually worked until almost midnight last night. And so I was really tired, and I just left all this stuff in here to deal with today. And then I have another folder in here because I've been working with you guys on the lives, and I've been wanting to keep that folder clean. So when I'm working from it, I can find things quickly. And so I have this little file these away, and I have all these in here. So these all need to get filed. The worst part of it usually is screenshots. Most of this is screenshots. Those are the hardest ones to file, right? Because they just say screenshot. So you literally have to open it, see what it is, name it, file it away, or at least file it away. Maybe sometimes they don't need a name if it's just something you want to look at again. So doing that first step really will help you keep your desktop clear. So now you've got this external drive, you've got your cloud drive, and now you set your browser to put all your files into a folder on your external drive automatically. Now, nothing is on your desktop unless you want it to be there. In this folder, I like to keep 2 folders open. See how I've got these 2 folders open? I've got the new downloads from the internet, and then I'm going to open this Blume folder. And the Blume folder has all my things, all the things I want to, that I've categorized and saved. Yours will be different. Yours will be what you need. Like, for example, I have this Bauer art folder, and that is from my traditional art and also my graphic design. So I have a mix in there, and I go in here, and then I've got graphic design. And then I've got some paintings, drawings, and my graphic design folder is really full, actually, because I've been backing it all up to SmugMug. So right now they're labeled as backed up. But then I've got all of this. And then inside here, I've got Photoshop and Illustrator jobs. And I've got all of those. And then website. Oh, no, that's not. Websites are in here. Websites are in here. And then all of those. And so as you need to file away the things that have downloaded from your drive and things that you've created, I also set my Photoshop to save to this same folder and my Illustrator to automatically save to this same folder. And my InDesign, all of my apps are set in settings to save to this folder so that anytime I have anything new, it's like it went to the desktop. I know exactly where it is, but it's in this folder off my desktop, which is really nice. Beth says, I have one of those little ones, but I haven't used it. Oh, you've got to. That's great. That's great. And Jill says, Samsung T7 Shield Portable SSD is also really good, rugged and small. Nice. Does it have 7 terabytes? Is that why it's called T7, or is that just the model? That's really good to know. I love finding out, which new hard drives are better or worse or whatever. The hard drive I had before this one, I had for, I think, like 15 years. It lasted forever. And the only reason I had to get rid of it is it was full. It was close to full. And I thought, oh, you better get a new one and get something bigger. Oh, just the model. Okay. So as you have files in here that you've created, you need to put them somewhere, right? And so I like to open a second folder from that same drive. Like if I close that, I would just open this and it would give me a second one because I've already clicked on here. Now, if I didn't click on anything and then I double click my drive, it's just going to keep opening this same folder because it doesn't think I'm using it yet. They're like, hey, silly person, it's right here. So then if I click on this folder though, it means I'm now active in that folder, I can double click this again and get a second folder. And this is how I keep things more organized more easily, because now I've got 2 places that I can go back and forth from organizing. So let's just organize what's right here just to see. Oh, this is my sister's new bathroom. And I thought it was so cute and I wanted to show my husband. So I'm going to save those in my pictures folder. I have a folder for photographs that are from photographs that we take, photographs that my family takes, photographs of my niece, photographs of other extended family members. This one's going to go in my sister's folder. Oh, in family. So then I have a family folder, and then I'm going to go to my sister, and I'm going to go to the year, and I'm just going to put those in there. I don't need to name these because if I want to find them, I'll know kind of what year that was, or usually I know what year it is, like or close to it, and I can just go look back and see. Okay, so now these other ones, though, are from yesterday's Yellow Muse challenge, and those are going to go in my Yellow Studio folder because the Yellow Muse is part of the Yellow Studio. So I created a Yellow Studio folder, and you might not have all these extra separate businesses in your folder. You'll have what you need, what you are using. So I'm going to go to the Yellow Studio and then Communities, and then the Yellow Muse. And you can see I've got a Discord group folder here, an ideas folder for community stuff. And, oh, that's not where I'm going. I'm distracted by teaching. Okay. Jill says, does Affinity let you set it to save to a specific folder like Adobe? Yes, it does. It does. I was checking that out too. Yesterday. Actually, these are all in my online classes. And the reason is that I started making AI imagery when I started taking classes with the Secret AI Society. And so then all of my AI imagery started going in there. But as of March 1, I'm going to change that system so that it's not tied to classes, it's tied to my art, and it'll go up in this folder in the AI content folder. So for now, it's in online classes, and then I go to Secret AI Society because that's where all my AI images are right now. And then I just started naming these. At first, I was doing them by the module that I was learning in and the images I was creating during that module. But then I was in for almost 2 years in the class, and I stopped needing to correspond my imagery with the models. So I just started naming them the new folders, new modules, and then the date so that I knew when I made that folder and about when the images are from. So now I'm going to go to Yellow Muse challenges in here. And you can see I have AICC challenges that I've done. I have the fabric patterns that I've created, some fashion images that I created. I used Jenna's new app, and that's in there. Kriya pics of me, mashup fun, just other fun stuff. So I am going to go in here, and I don't have the folder yet. And I number these now. I used to just name them, like you can see in here. Oh, those are numbered too. In here, I would just, oh, gosh, I guess I've been numbering them longer than I thought. Okay, so I used to just name them like this, but then it puts them in alphabetical order, which is kind of good, but also kind of bad because I want to know what order they were done in. So for these, I kind of want to know the specific order that I created them. So I'm going to go back to Yellow Muse, to here, and then I need a new folder because I haven't created this one yet. It's Neon Tokyo. Tokyo Neon. Which way was it? So I'm going to say 18. That was for today. And I can't remember if it was Tokyo Neon or Neon Tokyo. I think Tokyo Neon. Tokyo Neon. And so I'm just going to name it, and I'm going to name it with dashes because when you use dashes, the computer that signals the computer to know that each word in between the dashes is a separate word. When you use underscores, it makes it all one word. And when you don't use anything, it makes it all one word. So you could still potentially find your folder if you were looking for Tokyo Neon without the dashes, but you might also find anything else you ever wrote Tokyo on, documents, whatever else. But if you can type in Tokyo Neon and you've labeled the folder with dashes, it's going to come up right at the top. Okay, so then I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to put all of these in here. I created these with Meta AI because last night I was upscaling images from the day before. Oh, when we did Monday mashup, I had all those extra images plus my Yellow Muse images. And so I was upscaling them all day throughout the day. And then that last night I was sitting there upscaling, and it was 11:30 at night. And I thought, gosh, this is not going to be done until midnight. And so, because you can only do 13 at a time, and then you have to wait for them to be done and do 13 more and 13 more. And so I thought, this is not going to be done until midnight. And so I had a light bulb go off over my brain. And I said, oh, you could use Meta AI. Now, it doesn't have my personalization, but it's still nice because Meta AI uses Midjourney, and it's free. So that's kind of fun. So I created this gal in there, and you can see how it doesn't have my personalization because the lighting would have been a bit different, and it would have been a little more clean lined, I want to say. This one's a little more grungy, a little more edgy, has some like static in the image, which makes it look very realistic, which is cool. I always just go for kind of more of an edited aesthetic, I think. So, and then, Oh, this is the edited version. Okay, so yeah, this is the one it created. And then I took it into Photoshop and edited it because I didn't feel like it was colorful enough. And I wanted it to be really colorful because it was Tokyo Neon is the theme. So I edited it to this one and then made it video as well. So what I want to do though is while I'm here, one that I shared later, months from now, and I'll need that zine or whatever, and I want to know which one I already. What I'm going to do is label it Tokyo Neon and then put by me, Blume Bauer, dashes in between everything. I'm just going to call this 1, and then I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to put at the end, oops, I accidentally copied the period. Copy. And at the end, this one's the edited version. And then that one's that one. And then I'm going to say Meta AI for that one so that I know that I made that video in Meta, that animation. And then I did 2 Halo. I don't remember why. Oh, because one's a GIF. I'm like, why did I do 2 Halo? Okay, so, oops, I accidentally copied that one. Okay, so now for this one, at the end, I'm just going to put Halo. Because people will ask me sometimes, or I'll want to remember what I made it in, and I won't remember. So here is, just for fun, here's the one that Meta animated. It's good, actually. I really love it, but it's not the edited version with the brighter colors. So I took the edited version with the brighter colors into Halo and had it created. And you can see how Halo upscales it as well. Midjourney kind of downsizes the image when it makes a video, and Halo keeps your nice high quality. So I love that too. I felt like the first one was a better animation, but this one's pretty good too. I'm fine with it. So that's what I ended up using. And then there was the GIF, but we can't open that here. It only opens in the browser. So that's what I would do with those files. And then I would go and see what this was. Oh, I don't even need this. So I find out that I don't need this. I had shared with Claude my automation that I built in Wix today for my consultation offerings. And I want to be able to send a questionnaire to people that sign up to do consulting. And I wanted it to be on an automation. So when they sign up, they get it right away automatically without me having to go find it and email it to them. So that was that. And I just needed to send that to them. So I'm just going to toss that because I don't need it now. And this was for a client thing. So I'm going to go over to my clients folder and to TSOC, which is the client. And to projects, they have all these projects. One of their projects is a conference every year. And I'm going to put that into there actually, I'm going to make a new folder in there too. So I know, because I'll have more of these. These are the slides, some of the slides for the presentations. Okay. So there we go. That's all full, all cleaned up, except for now I have all of these, of course, but I would go through and do the same thing with all of those, put them where they go. The other thing I wanted to say is just to show you like what kind of folders I have, I guess, just to give you an idea. And then maybe that will spark ideas for you for how you can categorize your elements. Of course, it's best for it to make sense to you versus trying to make it make sense for me or anyone else, right? You want it to make the most sense for you. So if you have a lot of AI imagery, maybe you have an AI art folder, and then you categorize that by the different categories like we just did in my Yellow Muse Challenge folder where I put the name Tokyo Neon and then put all of those. And later when I download all of the upscaled images, I'll put those in there. In fact, I can show you what that looks like in one of the other folders. And I just copy paste when I'm bringing the images over. When I go to name these later, so what I do is I just name one in here that I already posted, I mean. And I name the one that I posted and a video of it so that I know, okay, I've used these files, like I've shared these files online. This is the one I shared. This is the one that was my favorite. Later, if I or create a little zine on my blog or an art blog with just imagery, I can go in and I would name these files if I'm going to upload them to my website. And I would do that so that they have SEO, AEO, so that the bots know what the file is, not just a photo. Now, something that Midjourney does do, but not all of the AI imagery apps, is that it does start to put in your prompt at the beginning. Now, if the beginning of your prompt is distinguishable enough to know what it is, you could potentially leave it as such, except for that they use underscores. And underscores just make it a gobbledygook for the bots, for anything trying to read it, any kind of computer system trying to read it. Oh, I was seeing if I could get the file name to show. So there's the whole file name. We got a high fashion editorial photograph of a Black woman, and doesn't even finish woman, woma. So the problem with that is later, I'm sure I have hundreds, if not thousands, of fashion editorial photos of Black women. And because I try to do like Black and Japanese and Chinese and Korean and Mexican and Swedish and German and like all the different nationalities that I can think of, I try to prompt each time. I try to prompt different nationalities so that we tell the AI, hey, we want every nationality to be represented and represented well. And so anyway, that's just my little part of like trying to put more parameters into the AI. So that's not going to help me find this image, right? Because it doesn't say anything about the Riot Act. The theme was read the Riot Act or get read the Riot Act. And so that's not going to help me find this because it just says a high fashion editorial. So that's when I would, if I'm going to use these in an art blog at some point, I would go through and name these, the ones that I'm going to share. I would name them Read the Riot Act by Blume 2, Read the Riot Act by Blume 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many I was going to share. That way, when I go to look for them, I'm going to at least find the ones that I thought were the best. And then that most likely will lead me to the folder that they're in as well. You could just name the folder if you're not going to upload them to your site because you won't need the AEO/SEO for your website. You just need to be able to find them. And if you labeled your folder nicely, then you'll find them just fine. I only go through and name them if I'm going to put them online on my website. When you put them online on social media or Substack or where else? Pinterest, anywhere that you put them online, that platform is going to rename your file with their naming system. And so it's going to lose the name anyway. And so it doesn't really work for SEO and AEO in that regard, but it does work on your website. Beth says it's really helpful to see how you label files and also how you create folders. I always wondered whether to do by category or by date. Right now I have by category. I have one called Blume prompts. Oh, yes, exactly. So that makes a lot of sense. I feel like category is smarter because it's harder to remember exactly when you did something. So like, for example, you saw that my sister's folder was by date, by year, because I can generally remember, oh, that was like 10 years ago, or that was 8 years ago. It might take me a couple folders to look through, but I don't have as many images in there as I do of like my AI imagery. So it'll be pretty quick to find what I'm looking for. But if you asked me when I created, let's go back to like when the challenges, if you asked me when I created the 1880s and 2080s images, I would say I have no idea what month that was. In fact, let's go see. It was April of last year. I would never know that that was April of last year. I probably, by next year, I won't even know that it was last year. So naming them by year, unless something stands out to you about it by year, like photo albums make sense, vacations make sense because you're going to remember, oh, the year we went to Paris was in 2025. The year we went to Cancun was in 2019. You might remember years that way, but even then it'd be smart to, inside that year, also label the folder Cancun so you can easily find your Cancun folders, your photos. So yeah, so I find subject is much stronger for our memories than dates, in my opinion. Like, how many times do you say, I don't even remember what I did yesterday? Right? Beth says, I'm on my phone. Are your folders labeled with hyphens also? Yes. Yes. Back to a certain place they are. There was a point in time where I wasn't doing hyphens on my folders yet, or my images, and that's been a long time though. It's been years and years now that I've been doing it this way. So yeah, they have hyphens as well. I was going to show you. Oh yeah, so here I just I put out for the count, and then I labeled the one that I used just so I remember which one I used, and then I've got then when I'm searching for this, it's going to come right up because it's right there. And this is going to come right up, the one I named. These others aren't going to come up, but that's okay because I'm going to find that place where the folder is and where the one image is. And that means I'm going to find all the rest of these as well, especially if the folder is named. So I was going to show you. So I have like AI, I have belly dance, I have art, and you can see these folders are not hyphenated. I need to go through and do that because these folders are all fairly old. They're all original folders. So belly dance, art, my Blume Bauer clothing, which is my old clothing business from 2000 to about, I don't know, 2010. So I've got that. Books, audiobooks and stuff. Business at home is like, bills, tax. I'm not going to open that one just in case there's anything sensitive in there. But it has, like bills, receipts, taxes, insurance, all that kind of stuff. Christmas, I don't know what this folder is. Oh, Christmas card shapes. See, I do need to clean this out probably at some point, but I just keep getting bigger files. So I must have wanted these at some point for something. And then I have client work, coloring pages. I would always save fun coloring pages that I want to print out and color from other artists that give them as freebies. Couponing. Oh my gosh, I haven't couponed in, a long time, 15 years. But I used to be big into couponing. Oh, there's only even one file in there now. Stuff for my dad, stuff for my niece, just like everything you might need. I had an Etsy folder when I first started on Etsy. I was doing crochet, and so it wasn't for my yellow boutique yet. It was just my hand crocheted stuff, and so I had that Etsy. I have event stuff. Oh, that's really old too, like old event stuff that I did for clients for my job. Actually, that was my job that I worked at. Facebook stuff, gardening, which is not very full. Like these are, sometimes I start a folder and then I don't really need much in there, but it's nice to have if I want to look back at it. I have this Google Voice folder because I used to have a Google phone number for my business, and then people could leave voicemails there, and I would save the voicemails so I could refer back to them if I needed them. Google Plus, I don't know if anyone remembers that as a social media platform. That was a really beautiful social media platform. I was kind of sad it went away, like that it didn't succeed, because it was really, the interface was really pretty. It was kind of like Pinterest meets Facebook. So it was like Facebook's so old looking and outdated, in my opinion. It just always stayed like that forum look. But Google Plus was pretty and slick. I don't think I have any screenshots of what it looked like. No, darn. So, all the different things that you might need, you can make a folder for and then put your things in. Some will be bigger, fuller than others. Obviously, occasionally you might want to go through and clean them out. I'll be cleaning these out as I upload them to my cloud storage, which is SmugMug and Google Drive. As I go through these, some of these things will get deleted, like that gardening one. I'm probably not going to keep anymore. I probably started that before Pinterest, and then that's why I have this. And then I have Pinterest boards for all my gardening stuff. I don't need to save it on my hard drive. All my gardening ideas or whatever. All my ideas get saved in Pinterest now and don't need to be saved to my computer. But remember back in the day, if you saw something you really wanted to remember the idea for, you had to take a picture out of a magazine or save the file from online and put it somewhere. And so that's what this was. It was an heirloom seed catalog, actually. Nice. Makes me want to order some seeds. It's from 2017. Okay, so Beth has a question. Yes, that's a question. If you create social media stuff, do you keep that with a social media folder? I have banners for Facebook and LinkedIn in a separate folder because they are the long shape. How do you do it? Okay, so I do it a couple of ways. When I just had Facebook not for business, well, yeah, I mean, for the longest time, it was just for being social. So this is all my Facebook stuff for just being social. And then when I started my businesses, I created the business folder. And then inside the business folder, I have a marketing folder. And inside of that folder, I have a social media folder. And then inside there, I have Facebook or whatever platforms I'm using and have media for. So for Facebook, I have headers. I have AI Marketing Lab posts when we did that AI Marketing Lab. I have images and quotes and a Yellow Studio announcement. So yeah. So that's what I do. So if it's for your business, I would suggest put your business folder. If it's just personal, then maybe just create a Facebook folder and then put headers and post images. And Jilly Bean says, can you back up Pinterest somehow? I don't think so. That was a great question, but I don't think so. I think the only way you probably could is to screenshot the images, but then you'd only have the images and you wouldn't have the links anymore to the actual content. Like if there was an article you wanted to refer back to or something. But I find that I save more ideas than I ever use. And I was the girl who used to have Pinterest in binders. I would go out and buy these really nice 3-ring binders that had the kind of rings that don't snag when you flip the pages. And then I would buy those clear, transparent sleeves that you put in the binder with the 3 rings. And inside the sleeves, I would rip out magazine pages that I wanted to remember recipes, decorating ideas, gardening ideas, and I would slide them into the little plastic sleeve, and I would put 2 ideas back to back and then put them in the sleeve, and then the next one and in a sleeve. And I had binders upon binders. I think I had, I don't know, like 25 binders of one or two of them were just for Christmas. One was for gardening. One was for food. One was for clothing ideas. Oh, I had one for belly dance ideas, like belly dance costuming ideas, because I did a lot of fusion belly dance. And so we would mix like different cultures and art forms together. And so the costuming could get really wild and fun. And so, yeah, I was that girl. I was the girl with the binders, with the clear sleeves. And even when I got Pinterest, I had to look through my binders and just make sure that I really could just get rid of them. And I ended up, donating all the binders and keeping the clear sleeves for a long time, hoping I would use them for something else, and then donating those too. But I think, oh yeah, that's right. The clear sleeves went to a crafting group, and because they needed them for something. And I was like, oh, perfect. I have all these clear sleeves that they could cut up and use. Jill says that's very social. Hi, Jessica. Oh, no worries. Welcome. Glad you're here. You can always watch the replay. That's the fun thing about lives. There's a replay automatically. Oh, Jill says she did that too. The binders with the sleeves. She still has some of them. I had to get rid of all of the things like that when we moved here, because we went from, it wasn't a huge house, but 1,600 square feet to 1,000 square feet. And so with a lot less storage, a lot less space. And I'd say we got rid of about 80% of our stuff. And we've collected more since we've moved here, of course, because that's what you do, right? It's just a terrible habit, collecting stuff. I'm always wanting to purge. Every spring, I'm like, okay, what can we donate? What can I share with other people? What can someone else use that I'm not using, that's just sitting here languishing in a cabinet or a cupboard? So I'll be doing that again this spring soon. I even did a fun challenge one year on Facebook, where we challenged each other to clean out different spots in our house, like first the junk drawer in the kitchen, and then the dishes cabinet in the kitchen, and then the pantry in the kitchen, and then the sock drawer, and then the sweater drawer, like that kind of thing. And it was really fun because everyone was sharing their pictures, like before and after. And I was sharing my before and afters, and it was very, very motivating. I should do that again sometime. Beth says, you are the Martha Stewart of marketing. Oh, that's so cute, Beth. You just made my heart so happy. Martha is like seriously, my one of my biggest, what is the word? Role models. She's one of my biggest role models. I know no one's perfect, but she took her lifetime of skills and turned it into this incredibly multifaceted, huge business. And I just think that's so brilliant. And she just has the kind of mind that just, I want to be her when I grow up. And I love that she's still going, she's still doing it. She's still, of course, I'm sure she's not in the trenches all day, every day like that anymore, but to see her still care about her business, to have some touch points, to still be involved, I think it's really amazing. And she's just a really cool lady. Of course, being Martha Stewart is hard unless it's your job. And that's what she did. She made it her job. And I think that's brilliant. I think if you want to be the best homemaker ever that keeps your house perfect and makes the perfect meals and does the perfect gardening, make it your job. Make a YouTube channel, make it your job. I think it's brilliant. And now we have YouTube. She didn't have that. She had to get people to let her have a TV show back then. How hard is that's like insanely harder than just starting your own YouTube. Anyone can be on YouTube. So yeah, she had to start a TV show. Then she had to convince people to back a magazine, and then products and just all of it. It's just amazing. So anyway, you warmed my heart. Yeah, it was super fun. The Friends challenges to clean up. It was really fun. Maybe I'll do it again this year. Well, we'll see. We'll see if I have time. But yeah, it was really fun. I like to keep a big bin in the house, and that's the donate bin. And then every time you come across something that you're like, I never wear this anymore, or these shoes, I bought these shoes and then they weren't my style, or they weren't that comfortable, and they're sitting here brand new. And so I'll just, something like that, I just put them right in the donate box. And then every time I go to the city, I take the donate box with me and drop it off and start again when I get home. So, what questions do you have about organizing your files? I feel like there has to be probably something I've missed that you might want to know. The biggest thing is to, if you're already super disorganized and you have as many files as I do, but they're not in folders yet and they're not organized at all yet, that's a hard place to start from. I would probably suggest doing something like, learning how to have an AI clean up your files. Like Claude can go on your hard drive now and clean up your files. Like maybe that would be a good place to start if you have literally no organization to start. If you have some, that's a good place to start, because then at least you have some starting points and you can kind of get going. But if you're behind like that, I would recommend just maybe setting aside an hour or two a week and set it on your calendar, put it on your calendar, say, this is when I feel like I could do this. Like maybe Fridays are a light day, or Wednesdays, or whatever day feels light and like you don't have as much stuff on your mind. Put it on that day, put an hour or two, and just do as much as you can. Set a timer, organize as much as you can. And when the timer rings, treat yourself, go get a glass of water, go for a walk, watch 10-minute YouTube video, do something to treat yourself for doing that hard, yucky work, because organizing isn't necessarily fun. But what is nice is when it is all organized, it makes your workload and your everything just streamlined. You just get to quickly work. It's funny when my husband will say, do you have that picture of this? Or do you have that receipt for this? And I go in and I go click, 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 click. And I know that the folder system that they're in. I know I go to pictures, and then to family, and then to Lexa, and then to the year, or I go to business at home, and I go to receipts, and then I go to 2025 and I look down in December for that receipt, that kind of thing. Makes your life so much less chaotic. And when everything's organized, then you have brain space and time to do the things you really want to do. And so that's why organizing is so important. It's not really because we can be like, oh, look at me, I'm organized. It's so that we can be ready for whatever comes at us and ready to find anything that we need again to use again, or to pull out and show people, or whatever reason you might need it. Yeah. And Jill says, will you please organize mine? I would charge I would have to charge so much, because I don't love doing it, but I am good at it. but it's like one of those jobs that you just don't want to do. It's not one of those things you really enjoy or have fun doing. I usually put on some music. That does help when you're doing your time. Like right now, I've been doing the 2 hours a week, uploading everything to the cloud, to SmugMug and Google Drive. And I turn on some music, and that makes it a little bit less painful. I make sure I have some water, I make sure I'm comfy, ready to go, and just kind of try to be in a good mood. And Jill says she doesn't want Claude in her files. Yeah, I get that too. I mean, that's a whole other ball of wax if you want that sort of thing. It just depends on what's in there and what you feel like they might have access to. It's true. I mean, our computers do have sensitive information in them, for sure. Beth says, I just started listening to binaural beats for focus and concentration. I like it. Oh, awesome. I'll have to look that up. I think music is so helpful for concentration, especially if you have a playlist of music that you kind of know and don't sing to. Like, if you want it to be music that's not distracting to where you'll be like, walk like an Egyptian. I don't know. This girl was singing that today on TikTok, and I thought, oh, that's a distracting song, because then we get all in your head and stuff. But if you have some music that you love, but it's just somewhat peaceful and not very distracting, that's a really good type of music. Classical music is amazing for doing that kind of stuff too, because it's all instrumental or mostly instrumental, and then you can just focus on what you're doing. But it'll help you stay in the zone longer. I definitely find that. I definitely find music helping me stay in the zone and not get distracted. And when you're doing that once a week organizing of your files, set everything to focus mode. Set your computer and your phone to focus mode. Turn off alerts, all of that kind of stuff, so you can really have the full hour. You'll be really shocked how far you can get in an hour. And if you're doing that every week, before you know it, you'll be super organized. And what will happen is you'll be so excited about how organized your files are that you'll want to keep everything tidy from then on. You won't want it to ever get back to that chaos place. Now, will it ever happen? Yes. Life happens, things happen, life is hard. A million things get thrown at you next month and your files get super disorganized. But you won't be as far behind as you used to be, and you'll be able to organize those files, get caught up, and stay caught up. Yeah, it's really, really, really good. I'll have to look at the binaural beats. Is that how you say it? Binaural? Binaural? Binaural. Binaural. Oh, maybe it's binaural. What other questions do you guys have? Any other questions for organizing? I do the same thing in my Google Drive, the same kind of like folder organization systems. And then I back up my Google Drive every once in a while. I back up my ChatGPT every once in a while. Once a year, I back up my Facebook, in case I ever want to refer back to all those million posts I create. Yeah, I just kind of try to back up, and then I always replace. Like, when I back up my Facebook this year, I'll replace the last year's Facebook backup with the new one, so I don't have both. I don't need both because it's going to include everything from all of time up to this year. And so I don't need the one from last year that includes all of time from last year back. And the backup, the external drive on your cloud. Yeah. So that way you have cloud and external drive, 2 places for you to find them. The other nice thing about having them on a cloud is if you work on multiple devices, if you have a laptop and a desktop, or an iPad and a desktop, or a laptop and an iPad, or your phone and an iPad, whatever you've got, if you have your files in cloud and the external drive, when you're not at your desk with your external drive, you could still access them through the cloud. So that's kind of nice too. Can you back up SmugMug? No, because SmugMug is the cloud backup. It is the backup. So my backup of SmugMug is my external hard drive, because I have all the same files on my external hard drive as I have on SmugMug and on Google Drive. Sorry, I was turning my focus back on. Okay, so yeah, I think that's the gist of it. I'm sure, there are a million other things, little details that probably would help that I'm not thinking of right now. But if you have other questions, you can leave them in the comments of the video and I will definitely get back to you. Don't forget to leave me a like of this video. Make sure you subscribe, not subscribed. Beth says, so I would use SmugMug instead of iCloud. That's totally. iCloud charges you based on how much storage you need. It's pretty inexpensive at the beginning. I think it's like $1 at first, and then it goes up and up and up and up. I know people that are spending like $60 a month with iCloud, and then are still running out of memory. So it just depends on how much memory you need and what you're paying already. So if you already have iCloud, you could stick with iCloud for sure. I love SmugMug just because it has unlimited storage. So you're going to pay that one price and then it's unlimited storage. In fact, let me see. Let me take you guys out of here for a second. It's the Blume. Okay, let me go see. I'm just curious again what their pricing is. I feel like, I don't want to misspeak, but I feel like it was they have a free trial. Let's see here. Let me share my screen. So they have a free trial, and then they have, so you can make sure you like the interface and how it works. And then, and I could show you guys sometime how SmugMug works too. That might be helpful. I'll put that on my list. They have $20 a month, popular, unlimited storage. So that's $20 a month would be $240 a year. That's billed annually. They have a portfolio one for if you want to make money and sell your prints and digital downloads, you could use that option. And it has watermark and photo theft protection tools. That's pretty cool. They have a pro plan for multiple photo galleries. Like if you have multiple styles of, maybe you're a photographer, plus you have AI art, plus you have graphic design or something, and you want to have them all in different galleries that you're selling from. And then they have, for big companies. So this must be the one I have, is the $240 a month, but I don't feel like it's that much. I mean, $240 a year. I felt like it was only like $160. I don't know. Maybe the price went up. But it has unlimited photo storage. And that is like, blows my mind, because no matter what you upload, especially once you start getting into creating a lot of video, you're going to need a lot more storage. So having unlimited makes you not have to worry. You're like, I know what I'm paying. I know what this costs. And it's a business expense, if that's part of your business. If your art is your business, then it's a business expense. And so that's nice too. Oh, it went black screen. Dang it. Darn. It went black and it never came through. Let me try again. with the share entire screen. Thanks, Joe. Okay. Now, hopefully you can see it this way. Oh, it did come through eventually. Okay, good. So this is my favorite thing, the unlimited. And I will definitely add it to my list to show you guys how SmugMug works, because there is a little bit of a learning curve, but once you know how it works, it's really simple and really fast and fairly easy to put all your files on there. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. I hope you go and get organized. I hope you're selling stuff this week, as we talked about last night. I hope you're going to go get organized this week. Just start little. If you can't give it an hour, give it a half hour. If you can't give it a half hour, give it 15 minutes. Anything. Maybe 15 minutes a day works better for you. Just 15 minutes at the end of the day, just organizing what you already created for that day. And then if you're really behind on organizing, maybe once a week, a little hour-long session. It just really will make your life so much easier and better. I like to compare it to, imagine, when you go into someone else's kitchen and you don't know where the cups are or the silverware. And if they said, "Can you make me dinner?" You'd say, "Okay, sure." But then it would take you a lot of extra time, right? Because first you'd have to look for the pans and then the silverware and the cups and the pantry. And you're trying to find all the things so you can make food, right? And prepare it and put it on the plates. It's the same with your digital files, but like times 1,000, because we have so many digital files. And when they're not organized, then we're standing in the kitchen going, I don't know where anything is. And so every time you need to post a social media post or go find an image for a blog or whatever it is, it's going to take you an hour to go find it, when you could have spent that hour that week organizing your files so that you didn't have to spend an hour finding it next time. So thank you guys for joining me. Let's get organized. I'll think about the spring cleaning challenge. That was really, really fun. If I do it, I'll do it on Facebook. Hopefully you guys are on Facebook. Jill says she'd starve digitally if she had to find where the plates and cups are. Don't starve, Jill. You got this. You can do it. And I guess there is that option. I bet you someone on Fiverr would help organize your files, but then again, you have to let someone access your files in some way. So I don't know. Maybe one idea, if you aren't sure how to categorize them, you could ask AI how to categorize them, and then that would be somewhat helpful. You could say, I have these kinds of files, and list them off, and then ask AI what the best way to organize them is. That could be helpful without letting AI do it, but let it give you some direction for how to get started. That's an idea. And I'll add a SmugMug to my list to do one night and show you guys how that works. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me again. I'll see you tomorrow night. Tomorrow's Thursday. Yay. Oh, Ladybug. Did I tell you about the ladybugs? Last thing. I looked up online, what does it mean that all these ladybugs are in my house? I mean, I only see like 2 or 3 at a time, but I asked the internet what it means, and it says that they're overwintering in here. It says if your house is especially light and warm, like if it has a lot of sunlight coming in, which it does because we have all these windows, so it has a lot of light coming in all the time, and it's always warm in here in winter because I like to keep it warm and cozy. And so they're in here overwintering, which makes me so excited, because that means in spring I can take them outside and put them on the plants and let them live their little happy lives. I'm very, very excited about that. So now they're living with us. We have new little ladybug pets. So That's fun. Okay. Love you guys. Have a good night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah!